Hi, this is Michelle Trice responding to Week 9 discussion. So first I'm learning a lot about the UDL lesson plan through our assignment. And I've really learned that there has to be so much planning ahead that goes into it. There are numerous factors that must be considered, such as all of the different accommodations for our kids, specific groupings of kids, technology, use of supplies, adults in the room, etc. Like, going with the flow or rolling with the punches in a UDL lesson plan is just not, it's not doable. It's not an option. However, I do want to make a point that despite all the planning that goes into a UDL lesson plan, I really think it's important for teachers to be able to be quick on their feet and move on their toes when something doesn't go right, and always have a backup plan, because you never know when the website's going to be down, the copier's going to be broken, adult might not be there, supply might not be available, there might be a random assembly. I think it's super important to be able to, in those situations, change your plan, and be flexible with that. My aha moment would have to be just how much each lesson builds on each other. I think in the past I was viewing my lessons a lot more independently of each other, or independent of each other, instead of as one continuous, part of the education experience my students get. However, I do believe that now, after learning about the UDL lesson plan, that each lesson must build on previous lessons as well as prepare for the next lesson. Therefore, I think it's imperative to know where you are going next in your instruction. And this can be true for beginning, middle, or end of any unit that we ever teach, that instruction always must be propelled forward. From here on out, I do plan to be a better prepared educator. I want to know where my kids are when they come to me, but also where I want them to be, and then fill in that gap of how I want them to get there, for every single one of my lessons. I plan to use this UDL strategy that we've learned about, in order to keep my students engaged through providing various aspects of learning, such as visual learning, auditory learning, using tangible materials, etc. However, there are still tons of barriers that can come into play when providing a high quality instruction for a child. For example, a lack of resources can hinder instruction. In this past school year, I actually did not have a classroom. I worked in the hallway, and I was one of the few teachers that didn't have a smart board, a Promethean board, and that was really difficult because there were so many good resources that I wanted to use that I just couldn't because I didn't have the resources. However, that did make me have to be creative, which was one plus of the lack of resources, is I had to be creative in how I provided my students with that high education, or their high level of instruction. So to overcome those, I plan to continue to be creative and to find alternative websites or forums or resources that I can use to provide the highest level of instruction possible with the resources I am given. Thank you.